Hey, so, I don't know how many of y'all watched my very first video. It was called Suicide is Not the Answer. Um, this is just a redo of that very first video that I ever did on YouTube Live. I was experimenting with it. I didn't really know how to do it yet. Um, but to hit on what I was talking about, so if you see the one with the suicide is not the answer one, ugh, that light's too bright. I'm trying to avoid turning my lights on because I really don't want to do that right now. Um, do not watch that video, please, because it's just a very, very bad video. It was late at night. I was very, very quiet. I had my headphones in, so you really couldn't hear what I was saying that well due to the fact that I had my headphones in. And my roommate was playing music. My roommate's not here right now, so I'm hoping they don't come back in here soon and disturb my live feed. Because I literally do not have any clothes on right now. And I'm not about to stop this feed. Just put clothes on. But I'm going to touch up on what and the video, the video I just released here about 10 minutes ago. Um, Suicide is not the answer. As I tell friends all the time, I tell people this all the time. Suicide is a temporary to a temporary issue. Let me restate that for you. Suicide is just a temporary solution. I mean, a permanent solution. My shadow, me, please, and thank you. God dang flashlight. Um, gosh, give me a moment. I'm sorry, but to what I was saying was suicide is a permanent solution for a temporary problem. Because if you commit suicide, think about the people you're going to affect. Okay, yeah, you're ending all your trouble, all your pain. But what you're really doing, and yes, I know it looks like God behind me looking up to the heavens. So that, all you're doing in the end is you're putting your issues onto somebody else's. That's all you're doing. You're causing more pain and more grief for your friends and your family, your brothers, your cousins, pretty much everybody. People you work with, your coworkers. If you're in the military, your chain of command gets affected, your unit gets affected, your battalion, your brigade. Everybody gets affected by it one way or the other. Everybody's going to feel it. Like, pure example. And what? Listen, there ain't nothing funny when a soldier cries. Okay, it's okay for service members to cry. It's okay. Don't think honking crime to cry. It's really not. It's okay. Um, what I'm about to say is not preferred for children that are under the age of 8 or 9 years old, who do not understand the concept. 10 and under, please be careful. But if you want your children to listen to this, please be careful because I might use some cuss words. But I'm going to try to prevent that. So, November of 2017 was a very, very bad month. For roughly a month and a half, I had been talking to this soldier who was in my sister unit of the same. That company was the backup for my unit. We were the same MOS. That it was just they were the backup for us. Every unit had one. They had two companies of the same exact MOS. So, mind you, this guy's a 92 Foxtrot fueler, petroleum oils and lubricants. The Petroleum Operations Logistics Management Division. And he was going through a rough time. He had some issues with his family, issues with his girlfriend, which is understandable. But I started picking up on issues that he started talking more and more about suicide. He said I'd be better off with dad, or I'll be better off, they'd be better off without me. But at the time, I just took it as like, whatever. But he showed what finally got to me, severe signs. I went and told his NCO. He wasn't answering his phone calls. My phone calls, hit my text messages. Hey, let's go over to that company and see Victor what's going on. I knew the soldier's room number, knew all three of his roommates, both of his other roommates. Regretfully, he was a holdover. He was a holdover, but he's worried. So, apologize. Yeah, I don't have a shirt on now. I don't sleep with a shirt on. But what happened was with him is that he had wound up committed suicide. And, we found he had barred his door completely shut so we couldn't get in. What we wound up having to do was call the police department, the PD, and yet there's a massive teddy bear right there. I was going to give that to a certain somebody before he left me. We busted his door down. We were able to finally enter the room. He had his bed frames and everything just jammed up against the door, besides his. And we found him laying next to his bed. Bottle of pills, caduceus all over the floor, pill bottle next to him. And a glass of water, almost completely drank. And he gets and left without saying a word. I was just reeling from shock. And for a very, very long time, I didn't know how to live because I had seen this soldier try to grow in every way possible. And he committed suicide, and with a suicide note on his bed that said, "I can't do this anymore. I'm done. F everything. F the world." And it hurt. It really hurt. It cut to you. It cuts into your heart, and it's always a stabbing pain. And at that time, I didn't really want to accept that he was dead. He had asked me in his death letter. He requested more than one thing. One thing he requested that I be one of the pallbearers. I ain't in no honor guard. That ain't my dang MOS. I'm not supposed to do that. But I took it to legal, and I was like, "Hey, am I even authorized to do this?" He requested it. This, that, and the third. They're like, if he requested you do it, I'd highly suggest that you do. This was his final wish, one of his final wishes. The next wish that I would receive the flag that his parents were supposed to get. And I'm sorry, this is a very, very piggy story that I really don't like to talk about nowadays, but it's something that needs to be addressed. And for a very, very long time, family hated me, and they had every right to. In their eyes, I murdered their son. And in a way, I did, because I allowed him to commit suicide. He did what he wanted to do, and I could have prevented it. And for about 3 months, I was receiving death threats, blackmailing, harassment from the family of my deceased battle buddy, and it was so bad that they put me under police custody, the military police custody. They had me taken to a different barracks that was completely empty. They supplied me with a bed, a refrigerator, a microwave, and some cooking stuff. It was actually furnished like what we would consider an NCO's room. It had a stove, all the kitchen cooking things. Um, it was technically the senior leaders' living quarters, but none of the senior leaders ever used it. And the seniors didn't mind, especially in my unit. They had to get approval from Garrison. They're like, we understand the situation. Get him out of that situation now. Put him in the senior living quarters. Have a watch on that building at all times. I don't care how you do the rotations. Just make sure he's under protective custody. I was given a long list of what I had to do, what I could and could not do, where I could and could not go, what I could say, what I could not say, how I was supposed to act, what I was going to do at school, all this bullshit. And forgive me, holy shit, but I just took the medication and it's starting to hit. I'm trying to fight this man, and it hurt. Don't think young adults, teenagers, high schoolers, junior high kids. Let me tell you something. Do not think that suicide is going to get you out of your issues. Yeah, it's going to get you out of your problem. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's going to get you out of your issues. Yeah, 100%. But think of your poor mom. Think about your poor mother. Think about your poor daddy. Your brothers, your sisters, if you have any, and I hope y'all do. If think of what it's going to do to affect your siblings. How's it going to affect them? How's it going to affect the people you go to school with, your classmates? Do you think they want you dead? I don't think so. People just say hurtful things because they were not properly loved. They aren't shown that affection at home. So they're taking their anger from home and throwing it at you. It has nothing. People will talk trash to you. They'll talk down to you. They'll bully you. Let me tell you something. When I first came out, I was gay. I was bullied. I was laughed at. But you know what I started doing? I was like, you know what? Screw what they say. They can laugh at me all they want. Quite literally, that's what I said. I was like, I told them, I'm like, look, y'all can laugh at me all y'all want to. But y'all ain't going to change who I am as a person. You're not going to affect my being because, yeah, my phone don't want to stay up. Jeez. You're not me. You're not living my life. You're not my freaking parent, You're not my brother. You're not my older brother or something. I will live my life the way that I want it to be, And if you got a problem with it, go piss off, I was bullied. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Screw what y'all think about me. I didn't care. Because all they were doing was trying to make themselves feel better in the inside because they aren't receiving the love and attention from their parents. So instead of it being a concern and addressing it, with a therapist or whatnot, they take it out on you, and you. John Doe and Sarah Doe and whoever else. Because that one person isn't feeling the necessary affection and attention from their parents are their legal guardian or whoever they're living with. You know. Forgive me for that. I just got a bad itch down, down on my legs. God damn it. There we go. But I've seen people who have hung themselves because somebody told them, "How about you just go hang yourself? You're so ugly that you shouldn't even be alive." Yada yada yada. But let me tell you something. Your life is just as more valuable as mine. Your life is as just as much value as somebody else's. Line 10 people up. Oh, let me tell you something about them 10 people. They all might be struggling with lords know what. One of them's, dealing with drugs. One of them he's got problem with marijuana. One's got freaking a drinking problem. But guess what? And they're all bullied about it. They're being told, oh, you shouldn't even be alive right now because of this addiction. It's an addiction issue, or somebody who's gay or lesbian. They're up there. You know, they're getting harassed about that shit. They're being told they're ugly. They're, you know, they're ugly. They're not even worth somebody's time or love or whatever. Let me tell you something. You are worth anybody's time. Okay? Don't allow what other people would say about you dictate who you're going to be. Because for a long time, I believed them lies that I was worthless, that I couldn't amount to jack squat. But the thing was, I came to a realization one night, and literally it woke me up. I had a vision. Man upstairs showed me something. He beckoned me a spirit. My spirit left my body, and he said, "Come with me, son." And he showed me around some places. That, the Trench of Despair, all that stuff. And he's told me these are the people who are low, but I'm trying to show them the right path. Yeah, over here you got the people who've dropped the chains of those who are harassing them, who are calling them this, that, and the third, whatever it is. And they're living free. He told me, son, don't allow what people think and or say about you dictate who you gonna be. Because it don't matter to a hill of beans what they saying. All they want is attention. They want to make people laugh at you. That's all they're doing it for. Is the laughter. They want to make people laugh at you. They want you to feel belittled. But what's in your heart down here, that big thing, that big old thing that pumps blood all over your body, let me tell you something. If your heart's telling you something, if your heart's telling you that you're pretty, you're gorgeous, you're handsome, you're adorable, whatever, you better start listening. Because I tell you now, the heart don't lie. The heart never lies, and neither does the gut. Let's say you're the prettiest girl in high school. Gorgeous. I mean, flawless, literally. Not one problem with you. You rich. You living high and mighty. But you see a male student, sitting by himself. Do you have the courage? Would you have the courage to pick up your tray from your usual group of friends who adore you because you're so high and mighty and go join that other student? I'm going to make a good reference, and this is the reference to the movie The Blind Side. And some of you, if you have watched it, you know what reference I'm about to make. So, Big Mike. He's the only black, African-American student all white community school. Massive school. By the way, I've done my research on that school. That school is massive. Freaking could be a state university for crying out loud. It's so huge. Big Mike walks into the library by himself. You know, everybody's eyeballing him. Like, what's this black dude walking up in our library? And he sits down, not too far from the daughter of the foster family. Um, what was her name? Crud. You had. Hold on, give me a second. Let me remember. As you had Sean and Sean Jr., the two boys. The reckless Esther was just reckless in that movie. He was a wild boy. Then you have Big Mike. Gosh, I mean, if y'all remember the name, put it down in the comments, man, because I really can't remember her name. I think it was Becca, I think, or something like that. Something along that line. Put a comment below if y'all remember the daughter's name. And sorry about that. She was sitting around her, her friends, Loretta. Lorraine was, I think, the mother's name, I think. And Lauren, I think her name was Lauren. She picks up her books and goes sits down with him, with Big Mike. And carries on about her own business. She could have easily stayed at her table with her high and mighty friends, female friends. But she had the courage to get the heck up and move over to that student. Let me ask you something. Would you do the same for another student? You see one student sitting in the cafeteria by himself, all the heck alone. You could tell he's in a very, very dark spot in his life. His or her life. Would you have the courage to get up, walk over there, set your food down and everything else that you have with you, and start talking to the kid? You don't even have to talk to him. Just let him know that you're there for him. And do that on a daily basis. Start off a conversation with him or her, with that student. Get to know that person. And before you know, you might just fall in love. If it's a female with a male, I don't care how y'all do it. I don't know. This day and age has grown different from the time that I was in high school. Man, things have changed since way back when I was in high school. Perfect example. Mind you, I had just moved from a 1A school district to a 5A. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I was completely lost. This was the school I didn't even know. Yeah, I had done my walkthrough through the high school. I wasn't ready. I was like a freshman, but I was a junior in high school. I felt like a fish. Fishy, swimming in the ocean, causing all the commotion. I don't know how many of y'all remember that commercial. Fishy, swimming in the waters, causing all commotion. Or something like that. But that's what I felt like. I felt like a fish in, bunch of, like me with the freshman type, because we call them the fishes. Because they did not know what the heck they were doing. I was pretty much classified as a freshman. That's what I was, a freshman as a junior. But I was sitting in the cafeteria. I was about to say DFAC, but that's military. I was sitting over in the cafeteria, eating my usual sandwich of a lunch. Because, mind you, I was in cross country, so I was always eating healthy. I wanted to keep myself healthy. You know, I was either eating sandwiches or salads. I flip flopped every day. And I was sitting there by myself, alone, frightened, and not knowing anybody because I didn't know anybody, like legitimately. The only two people that I knew was a classmate of mine and his sister, who was a freshman, and I very rarely saw him. But the thing is, they lived right down the road from me, and their father had was the main guy who had built our new home for me and my family. And besides them, I didn't know anybody else. I didn't know anybody from the church. I didn't know nothing. I was a dummy. I was like that one dumb private who doesn't know what to do in the army. Um, but this one female, she was a freshman. I think either a freshman or a sophomore. I can't remember. She was below me in grade level though. I knew that. She just saw me, came over with her high and mighty sass, which kind of was a little rude, but she sat down with me there at that table and let me know that I was, not alone. That there was somebody out there that had seen me alone, by myself and afraid, and decided to move and came and joined me. Let's say you know somebody that's going through a very, very hard time. And forgive me, this video is going to be long, but I have to do this. Let's say you see somebody going through a hard, hard time. There's a saying in the military, help me help you. But how am I going to help you if you're not willing to open up? If you see somebody dealing with, some bad stuff, and, no one knows but them, talk to them. Just a simple hello will make them happy. Just a simple smile will change their whole entire freaking day. I've seen it personally. I have changed the lives of more than 3 dozen people, and I've only lost one person. I've only lost one person out of more than 3 dozen people. And if you know the cause of suicide, if somebody commits suicide and you know why they did it, I'm telling you right now, don't beat yourself up over the head for it, because it wasn't your fault. You didn't tell them to commit suicide. That it was a choice. Nobody forced them to do it. They did not think about the outcome. They looked at the short-term and not the long-term goals. The short-term goal was, yeah, it's going to end on my pain, but the long-term goal was it's going to cause pain and grief for everybody else in the long run. Are you willing to take that leap of faith and just a simple hello? How are you doing? Can I sit with you? Can we talk about whatever? Because a simple hello, can I sit down and join you? Now, what do you want to talk about will make somebody stop thinking about suicide. It works, trust me. I've seen it happen. I've seen people's lives get changed quite literally for the better. And just don't do anything stupid. Okay, that just makes me look weird. Okay, there we go. Suicide, as I said earlier, is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Suicide don't work. Yeah, it might work for you. Think of the next person in line. Who's it going to affect in the end? I remember I just texted a friend of mine something. Like, I hope this ain't goodbye, man. Don't kill yourself. I'm like, dude, really? Really? I'm not doing that anytime soon. I got a lot to live for. I got y'all to live for. Because y'all need me more than I need y'all. Just don't think that because of what people say about you is true. Because it's really not. What really matters in the end of the day is what you think of yourself as a human freaking being. You a human. You're a growing person. Soon you're gonna be like me and a freaking grown adult. You're gonna be a grown ass adult. But my point is, don't allow what, Billy Dawn has to say about you affect you. Because let's say he's telling you you're ugly as hell. Ugly as whatever. You know, that ain't true. You pretty. You might not look pretty on the outside, but it's inside of you that really matters. How pure is your heart? How what do you think of yourself? Do you think of yourself as, oh, I'm just a nobody? Or, because if you do that, I'm giving you a challenge right now. From here on out, if you're telling yourself that you are nobody, that you're not worth anything, my challenge is this. Tell yourself every day, go to the mirror every single day, and tell yourself, I'm a beautiful human being. I am loved. I am cherished. There are people out there that hate me, but what really matters is what I think of myself. That's all that matters. And that's all that will matter. As long as you believe in yourself. Believe in yourself before you start believing in anything else. Trust yourself before you trust anybody else. I hope this video goes out to everybody. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family members. Share it with everybody. I want this goddamn video to go viral. Because suicide is not a joke. At least not for me, and I hope it is for y'all. I hope it's not a joke for y'all. One other point that I want to hit. Always stay positive. Always stay in a great mood. Always smile. That's one of my biggest defaults one of my biggest faults is that I don't smile very often. I don't know how to smile very much. And a lot of time people think that something's going on and there's really not. Smile at least at one person in one freaking day. That's what I want you to start off at. One person per day. Because what will happen is that person that you smiled at will go make somebody else smile. And so on and so forth. And that domino effect has begun. And then, as you become more and more comfortable with it, start smiling at more and more people every day. First week, just do one person. Next week, do 2 or 3. And then let it grow. Because, crap, I just lost my pillow. Because you don't know what that simple smile will do. You never know. Because that person might be having a bad day, crying out loud. You smile at him personally. You never knew. But please, I do ask y'all, please share the hell out of this video. Let it get out to as many